Y'all are so stupid. That's his Instagram profile pic. Okay. Let's get back to it. We're doing news, okay? Calm down. We're doing UHC UnitedHealthcare CEO shooter, okay? There's new updates.
No indication that Mangione was ever a client of UnitedHealthcare. Officials believe the company may have been targeted due to its status as the largest health insurer in the United States. Meanwhile, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has begun presenting evidence to a grand jury as they try to extradite.
Yeah, this was really funny because people were like, it doesn't mean that like UnitedHealthcare, he wasn't even a UHC client. And it's like, okay, sure. Would that have made it, would you be defending it if he was? Like, I don't understand. It's all these people that are like desperately trying to grab on to anything to be like, no, this guy is silly. This guy is stupid. This guy is wrong. This guy's insane. And you shouldn't feel like, you should feel angry that he did this. Okay? You should feel angry that he did this. You should feel resentful towards him and his actions and not, the way that UnitedHealthcare and many other for-profit healthcare industry leaders have destroyed your lives. Okay? Forget about that, please. And I think that like a lot of people are just trying to like finger wag. A lot of people in the media are trying to finger wag their way into. A lot of people are trying to finger wag their way into like trying to reshape the public narrative. And I don't know if it's working or not. I'm sure it has some play for a lot of older people that get their notes from mainstream publications, or maybe some dumbasses who get their notes from like right-wing content creators in general. But having said that, you can't finger wag your way out of this. Like, people are very mad. Understandably, they're very mad.
Mangione from Pennsylvania to New York. The delay, a possible strategic move by his defense team.
Not waiving the extradition does buy them a little extra time. They now have to wait for Governor Hochul to issue that warrant, and it just gives them more time to prepare their defense.
All this while Mangione remains detained more than 200 miles away. Luigi Mangione is being held in this state prison in Huntington, Pennsylvania, under maximum security. Prison officials tell CBS News that he is in a cell by himself, but not in solitary confinement, that he does not get to interact with other inmates, and that he has not become violent. Also, the NYPD tells CBS News that during his time in detention here in Pennsylvania, he has not made any incriminating statements to investigators. After biking through Central Park and taking a cab to the George Washington Bridge bus terminal, authorities say Mangione didn't leave the city, but actually returned via subway down to Penn Station in Midtown Manhattan, just a mile away from the crime scene. Now investigators are looking into whether then he traveled by train to Pennsylvania.
New York. I don't know why people are saying this is a new surveillance tech that they figured out to create a parallel narrative as to how they found him. Like, I'm inclined to believe the mainstream narrative on this. Like, I'm inclined to believe that, like, no, there was definitely like an old lady at McDonald's who was like, I think that's the killer. They do have mass surveillance. It's in every part of our lives. But having said that, you can see that it takes time for them to actively monitor a city with like 14 million people in it, or however many million people live in New York City. What is this, 7 or 14? Am I getting the number wrong? It's 8.2. Sorry, not 14. It's 8.2 million people in New York City at any given moment in Manhattan. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for investigators to, even with all of the mass amount of surveillance that exists, it's going to be difficult for people to figure out one singular individual wearing a mask and where they go. So I don't know. I don't know if this is like a person being. I don't know if this is like your McDonald's self-checkout kiosk spying on you or whatever. Hasan is running D for the NYPD. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I don't know how true, but allegedly the CEO of Peak Designs ratted Luigi out to the police by looking up the serial number in the backpack they found. I can see that. They are creating a parallel narrative for the NYPD data. You have not seen the tools NYPD Fusion has, however, not for the arrest. I think a lot of people overestimate the power that like artificial intelligence has. Or maybe they overestimate the power that human beings have. Mass surveillance is here, and it has been here for quite some time. We exist under a surveillance state, but the surveillance state is still operated by human beings, and human beings are not fucking machines. They're not robots. They're not going to be able to like immediately map out the trajectory of a fucking shooter in a city with so many goddamn people in it. Now, not only that, but also artificial intelligence sucks dick, especially when it comes to, especially in instances where you need it to be correct. Okay, artificial intelligence, as it works currently, okay, or AI or machine learning or whatever you want to call it, as it works currently, is only good at being the plausible deniability machine. Okay, it's only good if it's not supposed to work. It's only good for Lavender AI's targeting capabilities. It's only good so you can just say, oh, we handed it off to a machine, and if the machine fucked up, then oops, it is what it is. It's only good if it works. It's only good if it's supposed to be bad, if that makes sense. Just like UnitedHealthcare that utilized AI to process more denials over claims, like valid claims, at a significantly higher rate than human beings would. You're an expert? No. I don't think you guys understand. Like the current, everybody wants to feel like these super powerful machines are just, they're better than human beings at like tracking, and they're more accurate. Not realizing that the data input into it is oftentimes inaccurate, and that causes super basic hallucinations in like even something like ChatGPT. Like AI is amazing, but it's not as amazing as you think it is my point. That's it. And it will continue to get better unless it keeps working off of other garbage AI, and they don't figure out a way to clean it of its imperfections. But yeah, I think human beings are still on top in this moment, for better or for worse. We are in a surveillance state. We are not in a Minority Report future. Exactly. That's it. Like the level of access that people have once they identify someone is expansive, it's vast, it's unimaginable to the normal human's mind. Okay? That much I agree with. But in instances where you're scouring through like terabytes and terabytes of data, and you have to pinpoint one person with accuracy, AI is not good enough to be able to do that correctly. At least at least for now. Especially if I think, especially for now, like the failure rating. Bro, I agree with every single one of your takes except AI. You don't understand that it's exponentially growing and will supersede human intelligence most likely by 2029. I'm simply talking about where it's at currently, chatters. That's it. I think people think that like AI facial surveillance recognition technology is like so much better than the way people think it is. At least as it stands. At least for now. LLM, ChatGPT, etc. are inherently flawed and will never be able to reason. They can only imitate reasoning relatively convincingly. We will need a new model before we see anything like sci-fi level AI, genuine artificial intelligence, as opposed to a very good chatbot. I think big corps using AI to comb through thousands of resumes to hire people is akin to getting precogged. Getting my master's in data science and data policy, and you're not far off. Do you really think the U.S. government isn't working on mass AI surveillance tech? You are unk-maxing. Did I say that? Did I say that the United States government is not working on this technology? Did I say that AI is not already here in terms of surveillance technology? How many times have I talked about this fucking asshole? What do you think he does? What do you think his like signature achievement is? What do you think Palantir does? They're working on it for sure. I never said they're not.